The quantum spurs on my boots left trails of blue fire across the command deck of the TNS Houston as I studied the tactical display. 3 weeks out from the Kepler rim, heading toward a world that made most folks' skin crawl just thinking about it. Knight Commander Castle, the ship's AI drawled in its programmed Texas accent. We're approaching the Thrak homeworld. Recommend battle station. I touched the brim of my Stetson and checked the charge on my plasma rifle. A beauty of an M77 Peacemaker that had been in the Castle family for 4 generations. Much obliged, Sam. But hold off on battle stations just yet. The Galactic Trevak Cooperative had been real clear about our mission parameters. The Thrak were apex predators from a Class II Deathworld, the kind of place where the rain was acidic, the plants were carnivorous, and everything else was just plain ornery. They'd been expanding beyond their homeworld, and the Trevak Cooperative's member species were getting nervous. Eliminate the threat. The pale, spider-like Keth ambassador had clicked through his translator. Your species has proven efficient at such tasks. What he'd meant was that humans had a reputation for being the galaxy's go-to problem solvers when other species needed something killed. We'd earned that reputation fair and square, but it didn't sit right with me. The eyes of Texas were supposed to be upon justice, not genocide. Gerald, my second-in-command, Knight Enola Mackenzie, called out as she approached my position. Her own quantum spurs clinked against the deck plating. Long-range sensors are picking up something interesting. These Thrak, they're not what the Trevak Cooperative described. I moved to her station, my coattails swishing behind me. The sensor readings made my eyebrows rise higher than a 4th of July firework. Lobby hornswoggled. The Thrak homeworld was indeed a hellscape. Oceans of liquid methane, continents wreathed in toxic storms, and gravity that would crush most species flat. But scattered across this nightmare landscape were cities. Not the crude settlements you'd expect from mindless killers, but genuine cities with architecture that spoke of culture, art, and civilization. Enola, get me a communications channel. Wide spectrum, all frequencies. Sir, the Trevak Cooperative specifically said, the Trevak Cooperative hired Texas Knights, not Texas assassins, I interrupted, my hand resting on the grip of my quantum-enhanced Colt at my hip. We do things the Texas way, which means we talk before we shoot. The comm crackled to life, filled with what sounded like a cross between a thunderstorm and a gravel mixer having an argument. Then the universal translator kicked in, and a deep, rumbling voice filled the bridge. Unknown vessel, you have entered Thrak space. State your intentions, or prepare to join the dust of our ancestors. I keyed the comm with a grin. This here's Knight Commander Gerald Castle of the Texas Navy ship Houston, requesting permission to parley under the ancient rites of civilized discourse. A long pause. Then, something that sounded almost like laughter. Ancient rites? You speak like the old clans. Very well, Texas human, you may approach, but know that if you bring treachery, your bones will fertilize our hunting grounds. Wouldn't have it any other way, I replied. An hour later, I found myself standing in the transport bay of the Houston, checking my gear one final time. The Peacemaker was loaded and ready. My quantum-edge sword hummed at my side, and my Stetson was settled just right. Enola stood beside me, her own weapons gleaming. Sir, you sure about this? Everything we know about the Thrak says they're kill first, ask questions never type. Everything the Trevak Cooperative knows, I corrected. But the Trevak Cooperative's been wrong before. Remember what they said about the Lapinians? The shuttle ride down to the Thrak homeworld was rougher than a bull rider's 8 seconds. Atmospheric turbulence that would tear most ships apart barely registered to our reinforced Texas engineering. When we finally touched down on a landing platform that looked like it had been carved from a single mountain, I got my first look at a Thrak. Imagine a grizzly bear, if that bear was 12 feet tall, covered in chitinous armor, and had arms that ended in claws capable of rending starship hull plating. Add in glowing red eyes and a mouthful of teeth that could make a shark jealous, and you'd have something approaching a throck. The one waiting for us wore what I could only describe as ceremonial armor. Intricate patterns etched into natural chitin with what looked suspiciously like clan symbols. "I am War Chief Thektar of the Stonefang clan," the massive creature rumbled. "You are the human who speaks of ancient rites?" I stepped forward, spurs ringing against stone, and touched the brim of my Stetson. "Knight Commander Gerald Castle at your service. And you, sir, are not what the Travak Cooperative led us to believe." Ektar's massive head tilted. "The soft shells of the Travak Cooperative fear what they do not understand. They see us as monsters because we are strong, because our world makes us hard. But strength without honor is merely brutality." "Reckon that's wisdom any Texan could appreciate," I said, feeling the pieces of a puzzle clicking into place. "Mind if I ask about those clan symbols? They look familiar." What followed was a conversation that changed everything. The Thrak weren't mindless killers. They were a warrior culture, not unlike the ancient Celtic clans or Native American tribes. Their expansion hadn't been conquest but migration, seeking new worlds because their own was dying. The radiation from their sun was increasing, making even their hell world gradually uninhabitable. "The Travak Cooperative fears us," Thektar explained as we sat in his clan hall, drinking something that tasted like liquid fire and probably could have powered a starship. "They see our strength and believe we will take their worlds, but we seek only refuge for our young, our elders. Honor demands we ask before we take." "And they sent us to kill you instead of listening," I said, feeling that familiar Texas anger rising. "That don't sit right with me, Chief." Thektar's eyes glowed brighter. "You would defy those who hired you?" I stood, my hand resting on my sword's hilt. "Honor trumps coin every time. That's the Texas way." I paused, an idea forming. But what if there was another solution? One that gave your people the worlds they need and gave the Travak Cooperative the security they want. "Speak, Texas human." "Alliance," I said simply. "The Travak Cooperative's got plenty of worlds, but they're soft, scared of everything that goes bump in the night. You've got warriors who could protect those worlds better than any army they could hire. Trade protection for settlement rights." Thektar was quiet for a long moment. Then he threw back his massive head and laughed, a sound like an avalanche with a sense of humor. "You would have us become the galaxy's guardians instead of its destroyers. Why not? Every civilization needs its sheepdogs. And from what I've seen, the Thrak would make damn fine sheepdogs." 3 months later, I stood on the bridge of the Houston as we escorted the first Thrak settlement fleet to their new home, a frontier world that the Travak Cooperative had been unable to colonize due to constant pirate attacks. Funny how those pirates had suddenly found other employment when word got out that the planet was under Thrak protection. "Mission accomplished?" Enola asked with a grin. I touched my Stetson and watched the Thrak ships, massive, brutal-looking vessels that somehow managed to fly in perfect formation. "Reckon so, though not quite the way the Travak Cooperative expected." The comm crackled, and Thektar's voice filled the bridge. "Texas friend Castle, the clans have decided. From this day forward, any who threaten those under Thrak protection will answer to our claws. This we swear by stone and fang." "And any who threaten the Thrak will answer to Texas steel," I replied. "This we swear by star and spur. Some jobs pay in coin, some pay in honor. But the best jobs? They pay in the knowledge that you made the galaxy a little bit better, one conversation at a time." After all, the eyes of Texas see more than just targets. Sometimes they see friends, and in Texas, we take care of our friends. Many thanks to my channel members and Pathfinders. You all make these videos possible. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Video shares, memberships, and super thanks help the channel grow as well, so feel free to partner with this channel in that way as we grow. With that all said, thank you again for listening to this story, and thank you for your time. On the left side of your screen are some videos I think you might be interested in. I hope to see you in the next one.